Hey there champs, we have a lot to cover today and a lot of stuff happened and was said at the Jamaine Ortiz versus Teofimo Lopez fight. And everything was good except for the main event, which was Teofimo Lopez versus Jamaine Ortiz. We will also be talking about Terence Crawford and KEYSHAWN Davis. And we're also going to be talking about Teofimo's ring walk and showmanship. It was pretty dope. And that is what we are going to be talking about today. But before we get into that, if you guys are not subscribed, please punch and knock out that subscription button. That way you'll never see it again. And ding the notification bell. That way you never miss any of my new boxing videos. Alright guys, let's get to the round. Ding, ding. Okay champs, let's get started. As we all seen, the boxing event this Thursday night featuring KEYSHAWN Davis versus Pedraza. That was the co-main event, and the main event was Teofimo Lopez versus Jamaine Ortiz. Let's start by congratulating KEYSHAWN Businessman Davis for his amazing victory over the sniper Pedraza. He went in there and outclassed Pedraza and knocked him out. That was only the second time that Pedraza has been knocked out, and both of the fighters were last name Davis. Pedraza should not fight any more fighters with the last name Davis. KEYSHAWN made that fight look very easy. And also, congratulations to KEYSHAWN Davis for having the strength to stop smoking weed and also getting closer to God. And he actually stated that God gave him the strength to stop smoking weed. And everyone did say he was a better fighter without weed. I don't blaze it no more either. But hey, KEYSHAWN Davis, don't fight on 420 like Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. You might get the urge to smoke after the fight. Just kidding, bro. Don't ever pick up smoking until you finish with your career. I have nothing against weed. It's actually medicinal. So after KEYSHAWN Davis beat Pedraza and he did the post-fight interview, he called out Teofimo Lopez. And this is funny because at the weigh-in, Teofimo Lopez and KEYSHAWN Davis were sitting right next to each other. And Teofimo Lopez and KEYSHAWN Davis were arguing about something. But Teofimo Lopez told KEYSHAWN Davis not to call him out after the fight. But that is exactly what KEYSHAWN Davis did. He called him out. KEYSHAWN Davis stated he knows he fights at 135, but he is willing to go up to 140 to fight Teofimo. When it was time for the main event, both Jamaine Ortiz and Teofimo Lopez had pretty good ring walks. Jamaine Ortiz came out first and he came out with a rapper, but I do not recall the rapper's name, but the song sounded familiar. And Teofimo Lopez promised us a showmanship entrance. He came out with a circus ring entrance. Teo went all out. He had a guy swallowing a sword and everything. But that was the best part of the main event because the fight itself was very boring. It was almost as boring as the Shakur Stevenson versus De Los Santos fight. There was not a lot of punches thrown from Teofimo Lopez and Jamaine Ortiz, but it seems that Teofimo came to fight and Ortiz came to run. I believe Ortiz just wanted to survive, similar to how Charlo fought Canelo, but even Charlo did better than Jamaine Ortiz did. In the beginning of the fight, it did seem like Ortiz wanted a fight here and there, but as soon as Teofimo Lopez connected with good shots, it seems like he only wanted to run. Ortiz did not want to engage at all. Some people even tried to compare Jamaine Ortiz with Floyd Mayweather's style, but come on guys, do not disrespect Mayweather like that. Yes, the style was similar to Mayweather, and Mayweather used to be called a runner, but there is a huge difference between Mayweather and Ortiz. When Mayweather used to dodge and run, he would at least hit you and made you pay good. But Ortiz just dodged and run. I remember I always used to defend Mayweather when people used to talk ish about him. They used to say Mayweather talks a lot of ish, that's why I don't like him. And I always used to say, yeah, but he can back it up, right? And everybody used to say, yeah, he can. What I'm trying to say, Ortiz cannot back it up. Ortiz had a lot of opportunities to dodge and counter Teo, but I believe he was scared to get countered by Teo because every time Teofimo landed a clean shot on Ortiz, it seems that Ortiz was bothered. I don't think he could have kept taking the power of Teofimo. The meaning of boxing is hit and don't get hit, not don't get hit and don't hit back. If Ortiz ever retires, I think he will do good as a track star. He did so much running, I thought he was gonna get tired from running, but he did not. But that's neither here or there. The fight was very close, but very boring. And I believe Ortiz only landed 2 more punches than Teo did. But to beat the champion, you have to convincingly beat the champion, and Teofimo was the aggressor all night long. This fight was boring and reminded me a lot of the Shakur Stevenson versus De Los Santos fight. But the difference is Shakur Stevenson was actually injured in the De Los Santos fight, and Jamaine Ortiz and Teofimo Lopez were not. Teofimo Lopez needs to learn how to cut out the ring, and Jamaine Ortiz will always be known as a runner. Some people say Jamaine Ortiz was robbed, but I doubt that. You can never be robbed in a close fight. It's not like Jamaine Ortiz beat Teofimo Lopez convincingly. Usually when a boxer beats the champion and he actually gets robbed, it's all over the internet. And the whole boxing world will say, I still want to see that fighter fight again because he actually beat him or the fight was very close and he put on a great performance. But no one will say that about Jamaine Ortiz. No one's going to say, I want to see Jamaine Ortiz fight again. They should put Jamaine Ortiz on this night versus Shakur Stevenson versus De Los Santos night. Now that will be a classic fight. Teofimo, after the post-fight interview, states that he will not fight KEYSHAWN Davis yet because KEYSHAWN Davis is too little and he hasn't done anything and he needs to get a belt before he could fight Teofimo. He also states that KEYSHAWN Davis wants it easy and wants to take shortcuts, so he dismisses the fight with KEYSHAWN Davis. And this is true. I want to see KEYSHAWN Davis fight somebody else before he steps up with Teofimo Lopez. I know Teofimo Lopez looked bad this night, but it's hard to beat a man that just runs. If Charlo would have traded with Canelo, Charlo would have gotten knocked out. I think the same about Jamaine Ortiz. If he would have traded with Teofimo Lopez, he would have gotten knocked out. But then Teofimo Lopez states that he will fight Terence Crawford at a catchweight. And Terence Crawford hears this and says, I ain't fighting at no catchweight, this guy is crazy. But as we all know, you're only as good as your last performance. And Teofimo Lopez never does good with lefties. And we all know Terence Crawford is great and he could switch from orthodox to lefty. But we also know Terence Crawford won't run from Teo. So I think that fight will play out different. So I have Crawford beating Teo pretty convincingly. But who knows, this is boxing and anything can change in any given night. Who do you guys think will win, Teofimo Lopez or KEYSHAWN Davis? And who do you guys think will win, Terence Crawford or Teofimo Lopez at a catchweight? Comment below and I'll write to everyone back. If you guys like the show, like the video, share the video, subscribe, and that's it for me, champs. I gotta roll.
I shook up the world! I shook up the world! I shook up the world!